Well, today I'm going to be using this new mould, and I think this is something that everybody is going to want. We've had the frog mould, we've had the turtle mould, and now this is the next level. I got my hands on this new mould, and I can't wait to show you what you can do with it. I'm going to be using the new chrome powders and the older chrome powders as well, because they're all different colours from Let's Resin. Now, I'm not going to make this look realistic because I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be using the red, the black chrome powder, the chartreuse yellow. I really ought to write on the tops of these pots what colours are in each one. Then I wouldn't have to keep pulling them out. And the sky blue. I do believe that these are going to sell exceptionally well, like the frogs did, the turtles did. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my colours, and I'm using just a normal paintbrush for this with a long end, into these little bits here. I have no idea what they're called, but I want to make sure that I get a really good coverage. Putting blue towards the bottom and then some silver over the top of that and filling them up completely. And then I'm burnishing those colours together and down as well to make sure that I've got a really nice finish to them. Tap out any excess, get my baby wipe, and wipe up where I've made a mess with it. It's easy to do. You just go in there with your baby wipe and clean that all up. Quickly go in there with a dry cloth. Make sure I've got nothing of that baby wipe in there. And there we go. The eyes I'm going to do black. And then the lips I'm going to do this really deep red. Again, burnishing all the time to make sure you get that really good shine. Now I'm going to do this part of it yellow, or this chartreuse yellow. Again, making sure that I burnish that going through. And I'm doing that up to the legs and the edge of the tail. Honestly, this is such an amazing mould. I love it. I can't wait to get these finished to show you. Look how beautiful and shiny they are. And then the rest of it I'm going to do in this darker blue, blending that in with the edges of what I'd already put in, so that's chartreuse yellow. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. And again, burnishing that all down. The great thing about the Let's Resin moulds is they always put how much you need resin-wise on there. So this needs 4.5 fluid ounces. And if you don't work in fluid ounces, then all you need to do, I work in millilitres, so all you need to do is look at the 4.5 fluid ounces on your mixing jug, go around, and that's 150 ml. So it's really simple to do. Look how beautiful and shiny that is in there. Now I want that to be quite a solid shine. And to get a really good solid shine using any of these sorts of powders, then when you mix the resin up, it's best to add a bit of darker pigment in it. So I'm going to mix my resin up now for this first one and show you how much resin pigment I'm going to put in. So I've got my resin all mixed up now, and what I'm going to do is put some of this liquid Let's Resin opaque pigment in here. Probably 6 drops should be enough, but I will test it. Give that a good mix in. You want to make sure that everything is fully mixed. We've got no blank spots. No, I would like it a little bit darker, so I'm going to put 3 more drops in. Yeah, that's dark enough for me now. Now, what you want to make sure you do is these little tufty bits on its head. You want to really make sure that you get all your resin into there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pour some in there and then use the end of a micro brush here to pop into there. Make sure I've got that all the way down into each one of those little areas before I do any squidgy widgy on it. So that's that done. And now what I'm going to do is pour this in enough to completely cover those little areas, but no further at this stage. And now, as you can see, these bits are here, and I'm going to give them a good squidgy widgy to ensure that I've got all my resin down those bits. And now I can fill it up, and then I can squidgy widgy the tip of the tail. I'm using the other end of the micro brushes and pushing that into each one of the tips of these toes. Fill it up a little bit more. And then I'll give this 5 minutes before I burn off the bubbles. So that's had its 5 minutes now. All I'm going to do is quickly burn off any bubbles that have come to the top. I could put it in my pressure pot if I wanted to, but unfortunately my pressure pot is broken where I dropped it. So it's not working at the moment, which is really shameful. But it doesn't need it. It's got colour added to it. And hopefully I've squishy-wishied all the bits out of it that need coming out. So we'll now leave that to cure. And then I'm going to show you the next one I'm going to make that is also going to, I think, look awesome. Well, the first one has come out amazing. I can't wait to show you it. It really is glossy. And this next one I'm going to do using Roman aquatic gravel. I prefer the Roman aquatic gravel because it's all lovely and rounded and it's a great colour. The only thing is you do need to wash it really well before you use it, because the last thing you want is all this dust anywhere. And what I do is I decide roughly how much I want by making a complete mess and spilling it everywhere. And then I will wash it. Probably a little bit more than that, just a tiny bit more. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to do when you've washed it to ensure a really good result, and I'll show you those in a second. Right, that is going to be plenty of this gravel. So now I can put that in my sieve. I will wipe this mould out as well before I do anything else as well, because if not, that is quite dusty. But I'll go and run that under the tap. So that's nice and clean now, and what I'm going to do is pour that out onto some kitchen towel like this, or any absorbent towel, and dry that off. The last thing you want is any moisture or water in here, because it will make your resin go cloudy, and also it will cause your resin not to cure really well. So once that's done like that, what I'm going to do is give that a blast with a hairdryer and get that as dry as possible. So my gravel's all nice and clean, my mould's all nice and clean, and it's time to mix up my resin. Because I'm putting gravel in it, I'm not going to need nowhere near as much resin as I would if I was just doing it clear. So it's going to save me resin as well. But love the colours in that. You've got to love them. And I love how the first one's come out as well. That has just come out awesome. So for this one, I think I'm going to mix up half the amount, and then I'll use this larger bowl to mix my gravel in once my resin's mixed up. I've got my resin mixed up now, and I've removed the bubbles from it. Before I do anything else again, what I'm going to do is pour some into these little bits again, and once again use a stick just to make sure I've got resin all the way down there and no air bubbles. I haven't got any resin in that pot yet. And now I'm going to do some squidgy-widgy in there, and then fill up a bit more. Then a bit more squidgy-widgy. And now I can choose some small stones from this. And now I've got the small stones sorted out, I can use my tweezers and pop those small stones down into there to make sure that it's got some stones in that bit. I really can't wait to show you the other one. I'm so pleased with it. I will link this Roman gravel in the description, and the mould and everything that I use. So I've got all those in there now. The next thing I'm going to do is fill this up with a few of the stones and make sure that they are completely coated in resin. Push them into the tail, and now put the rest of them in there and add some resin. Give that a stir like this to make sure everything is coated. Now I can add that into there. I've got one little trick I want to show you as well before we finish this off and leave it to cure. So now we've got that all filled up, what I'm going to do is just drop it a few times, and what that'll do is that'll encourage all the resin to get everywhere that you need it, but it'll also lock all these stones into place and give you a flatter bottom, which is what we're looking for as well. And now we've done that, what we can do is take some of this clear resin, slowly pour it on so it fills up any gaps that we have throughout this. Any of the ones that are sticking up too much, just remove them. And we'll leave this a couple of minutes for that resin to soak down, and then we can redo and top up where we need to. Making sure again that we've got it in all our toes. And once we've got it in all the toes, then we can burn off any of the excess bubbles. So there we go. I think we've got that full. I'm just going to give it a couple more drops Let that settle out again and then top it up if I need to. Before I top it up, I think I'll go over it with a long neck lighter and just burn off any bubbles that may have come up. We'll let that cure, and then once that's cured, I can show you what they both look like. This is all nice and cured now, so I can take it out of its mould. This is always my favourite bit. And once you get the tail out, then the rest of it demolds fairly easily. Well, now it's out of the mould. Look at that. I love it. It's so pretty, the little axolot. The Roman gravel in here, I always think looks amazing. The different colours, the smoothness of the gravel and everything. But let me show you the other one. Oops, let me drop that one. So here's the one with the chrome powders. I mean, look how magnificent that has come out. I love both of them. And I did the eyes black in this one, where obviously I didn't do the eyes any colour in this one because I just filled it with this Roman gravel. Definitely my new favourite mould. I think everybody's going to love this mould. Looks great. If you want to learn more about using moulds and how to protect your moulds, then check out the video that's coming up next. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed making this. It feels so lovely and really tactile. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.